Okay.
मीटिंग भी लाइव जाता है क्या यूट्यूब में?
अरे so पंकज जी ये because coach certification है ना, this is like हम training कर रहे हैं, so it's a weekly training which we are doing for coach certification. So whatever learning we are having here is something which can be used for later. So that is why we are recording this.
Not about recording live. It is live.
Pankaj ji, it is a private channel, so it is not going live to everyone on the Quanto channel.
Okay, fine.
It's a private. यानी अगर आपको लिंक मिली ना तो ही आप देख सकते हो, नहीं तो आप देख नहीं सकते हो.
ठीक है.
नहीं सब कुछ थोड़ी ना डालेंगे.
So Mansi, should we start? I think शिवो आने वाले होंगे शायद.
Sure. Where is how many more people are we expecting? There's Ranjana.
So Ranjana is here. Meena ji ने बोला था she'll join. I don't know. She may be here. Rajkumari is not joining. Vaibhav was also going to come. Sirf Rajkumari said she'll not join. And Ruchita said that she'll not be able to speak, but she'll join.
I thought we were going to take her case study first. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but she said कि उसको Divit को लेके जाना है. But yeah.
So should we send a message to the people who have not come, or
I'll send the message, Mansi. I'll do it.
We can distribute, और किसी और को बोलना है तो मैं भी कर सकती हूँ.
मैं वैभव को बोल देती हूँ एक बार.
हाँ. और कौन है?
मीना जी.
मीना जी ने बोला नहीं आएंगी ना? या
नहीं, she said she'll come.
Okay, I'll message Meena ji. Oh, Meena ji is here. Hi, Meena ji.
अच्छा, she's here. Okay.
I love that grin of yours.
किसको बोल रहे हो आप?
चार्ज्ड अप होता है ना कोई ऐसे.
आप किसको बोल रहे हो?
मैं आपको ही बोल रही हूँ, मानसी जी.
थैंक यू मीना जी.
एकदम से इतनी बड़ी स्माइल देकर रेडी. सुबह उठी हो, धन हो तुम सच्ची. सुबह उठने के बाद में भी इतनी फ्रेश, इतना वो.
Thank you.
So Mansi, Vaibhav is here.
Okay.
Vaibhav is here. We are just waiting for Shiva. Rajkumari is not joining, so we can start.
Yeah.
Vaibhav का audio connect नहीं हुआ है अभी, but yeah.
मानसी जी, इस वक्त आपके यहाँ क्या टाइम हुआ है?
6.
सुबह के 6 बजे हैं. तो इतनी जल्दी 1 घंटा लेट नहीं हो सकता था, क्योंकि आई वाज बिजी विद सम, ये टाइम होता है किचन में जाने का. एंड आई एम वेरी पर्टिकुलर अबाउट माय डिनर टाइमिंग. मेरा डिनर टाइमिंग होता है 7 बजे.
So Meena ji, this time, once a week, this is like a class, 7:30 to 8:15. So that's why we keep it crisp ke 7:30 to 8:15. So every week coaching certification class. That's what we are learning here.
एक प्रोग्राम है, कुछ ना कुछ और प्रोग्राम आ ही जाता है एवरी वीक, दूसरा भी तीसरा भी, और फिर ओवरलैपिंग भी होते हैं. यार कुछ तो करो.
Hello, let's get started for abhi. For now, we'll get started.
Yes, please start.
Mansi.
चलो शिवो भी आ गए.
Yeah, Mansi, over to you. Or
over to me today.
Okay, yeah.
So actually over to everybody today. So do we have sharing of people? So you all are sharing one transformational miraculous moment that you have seen in all the coachings, DYCs, any program, AD, it could be any program. But this is a transformation of someone else and you've been the observer. You could have been a participant, you could have been a coach there also, or you would have just watched, but it was a transformation story of someone else.
It could
that you
also
observed.
be a non-quanto transformation story.
Okay, we are going there. Okay,
So-
fine.
So Mansi, should I take my mother here? Because I mean, it's really interesting how I see her. She's a Quanto. She's not very regular, but she only does या तो Om Namah Shivaya या उनको कुछ होता है तो she does Quanto. Like yesterday also I was sharing with her. She's seeing the miracles. She herself says that her life has become very smooth. सब कुछ अपने आप हो जाता है. There is no pressure, and she does. मतलब challenges आते हैं, that is okay, but like earlier she would have so much of fear and anxiety, and she was so much resistant to change. That is a change which I see in her, that now she's okay, कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है, तो she is able to adjust faster. That is a transformation which I have seen in her, and she's not very regular in FFS, though she's done programs, but
Nitika, यहाँ पर हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Actually, we want to go into that one moment.
Yeah.
For the transformation.
From where it started
want
and
to
what do you think is the
identify-
reason?
Purpose of today's session is to identify what was present in the moment of transformation.
okay,
This is the purpose for today.
okay.
So, if Ruchita, you would like to share what you shared in the group, and
She
we
can't
identify-
speak today.
Okay, so Ritika, can she say what was present in that moment when transformation happened?
But I think that when we observed that first 2 days, his energies were very heavy, and during the conversation, and pehle mein na, whenever he used to talk about his first wife, it always used to be guilt-ridden or irritation. The moment he remembered the fun times, the love that was present, that's what made him get into that relationship. So that memory of love, actually, I think, just transformed. ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
So,
I'll
what
put
is
it
the
in
concept?
observation. Okay.
What is the
Go
transformation
ahead,
concept?
Shivu.
Yeah, Mansi, go on.
More
No,
like,
Shivu, go ahead.
I mean,
See, whenever we are present to one complete cycle, the transformation happens. Not the incomplete. Suppose if he was remembering all the good things about her and not bad things, then also it will not happen. You getting it?
yeah.
One
Because-
full cycle of something that was present and then it vanished, right? That also, there are a lot of realizations hidden in that. And what allowed that to happen? What was present in a coach? Yeah, like you were the coach that time, even though you were not the declared coach, but you were acting as that. So what made it happen? What was the quality in you?
About wife and his daughter, मैंने उनको पूछा आपकी वाइफ और आपकी डॉटर का कोई नाम है, क्योंकि आप सिर्फ माय वाइफ माय डॉटर फर्स्ट वाइफ ऐसे बोलते, कोई नाम तो रहेगा ना. तो then he took their names. कुछ अच्छा था आपकी बेटी के साथ, आपकी वाइफ के साथ, and then he went into his, the first time he'd seen her, it was Raj Kapoor ki Bobby story. वो घर आई, he was doing something with her. His wife was there. वो इतने टाइम से, इतने साल से वो क्रिब सुन रही है that she is responsible for how the family has been suffering. She must have yearned for that acknowledgement of love कि सब कुछ मैंने खराब ही किया क्या. तो I mean,
also, it made him realize that he was responsible for this relationship. In midway, he had forgotten that.
yeah.
That made him realize that he initiated it.
Yeah, because
Maybe you can ask him.
there
Maybe
was
you can ask him.
in his voice, and Preeti and I both, he was laughing and he narrated us these stories of how he wrote a love letter to her, and how she felt and how they had good times. So it was really nice to hear that. And उसके बाद में उन्होंने जितना बात किया, वो उनकी वॉइस में, वो पहले जैसे होता था ना, वो जैसे एक थका लुटा पिटा इंसान होता है, वैसे नहीं था. मतलब इट वाज जॉयस, नॉर्मल टॉकिंग था. हैप्पी वाला।
तो इसमें कैन समवन राइट दिस डाउन? जब भी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है ना, जब एक पूरा साइकिल हो जाता है, दो पैराडॉक्सेस हैव प्लेड देयर रोल कंप्लीटली, ठीक है ना? क्योंकि कभी भी एक इमोशन को ऑब्जर्व करके ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है, दो कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी इमोशन होते हैं, दोनों को जब आप जीते हो, दोनों को ऑब्जर्व करते हो, तब ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन होता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, someone, let's say someone is very angry, so एंगर को ऑब्जर्व करके नहीं होगा सिर्फ, एंगर के बाद एक गिल्ट आता है, एंगर और गिल्ट दोनों। आर यू सीइंग दिस हियर? He was sharing all about the troublesome time he had, and he had forgotten the good times. So the observation was incomplete. Am I making sense?
Yes, Shivu. Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Hello. Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yeah.
Yes, Shivu. At that point of time when he was sharing, तो he मतलब इंद्रजीत जी ने इतना हाइड कर लिया था अपने उस फन पार्ट को कि अपने परेशानियों के आगे उन्हें वो फन पार्ट दिखाई देना बंद हो गया था। तो he stopped that
Also,
feeling.
it made it easy for him to blame his wife.
Yes.
Because if he share the good part, then that blame, I mean, he will remain stuck with the blame. The moment the good part was shared, there was some kind of a detachment from that blame. There is an acknowledgement that okay, there were good times also. तो जितना हम होलिस्टिक होंगे ना, उतना we will be able, जितना completion होगा ना, जितना holistic होगा, both the dimensions, both the sides of the story are present to us at the same moment. That's when we can reach the next level of understanding. क्योंकि जब तक आपको complete picture नहीं आएगी ना, तब तक कोई ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन पॉसिबल नहीं है। Some sense of completion, a partial sense of completion maybe. ठीक है ना? Yeah, anyone else? Please share your one story. So let's keep noting it down, that what are the factors that are present when transformation happens.
May I?
Yes, Manisha, go on.
So, this is the story of my husband. I just want to share. My and my husband relation was good, but it was not very healthy. And in this lockdown, we were at same place. So chances of लड़ाई वगैरह बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब वो भी अपना काम कर रहे हैं, मैं भी कर रही हूँ, and my expectations was that he has to help me in my kitchen work and all these things, lots of expectations, and what I saw that कि वहाँ पे conflicts हमारे बढ़ते गए. But meantime, I have taken just 2020 की बात है, मार्च की, और मैंने ओशो की दीक्षा ली, ओशो सन्यासी हुई मैं, and then I started my साधना and all these things, but he doesn't like it. कुछ बोलते नहीं थे, लेकिन अंदर बहुत ज्यादा भरा था कि ये क्या, कहाँ जा रही है, किस रास्ते पे जा रही है, बिकॉज उनको लगा कि पता नहीं मैं अलग रास्ते पे हूँ, ये अलग रास्ते पे है. फिर उसके बाद में क्या हुआ कि मैंने उनकी जेनेटिक ब्रेन प्रोफाइल करवाई. देन आई केम टू नो कि जो भी हमारी टर्मिनोलॉजी होती है कि उनका कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स मेरे साथ में, मेरा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स उनके साथ में रहेगा, बिकॉज हमारे सिग्नल्स ही नहीं मिल रहे, हमारे में कोई मैच ही नहीं है. जहाँ पे फैमिली वाला पार्ट है, उनकी सोच अलग है और मेरी सोच बिल्कुल अलग है. देन मुझे पता चल गया कि उनका ट्रिगर पॉइंट कौन सा है, और मुझे नहीं दबाना है वो ट्रिगर पॉइंट, सो दैट कि हार्मनी घर में बनी रहे. देन व्हाट हैपेंड, अगस्त आई हैव जॉइन डिवाइस, फर्स्ट डिवाइस आई हैव जॉइन. देन उनको फिर लगा कि अब मनीषा पहले ओशो धारा में जाती थी, अब मनीषा ने कुछ और पकड़ लिया, तो फिर वो थोड़ा से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स हमारे रहे. बट धीरे धीरे जब मैंने अपने पैटर्न डिसॉल्व किए,
और मैं शांत अपने आप होते गई एंड देन मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशंस मैंने खत्म नहीं की बट एकदम से डिसॉल्व हो गई. मुझे समझ में आ गया था कि मैं कहाँ गलत कर रही हूँ और ट्रिगर पॉइंट मैंने फिर प्रेस भी नहीं किया उनका. फिर क्या हुआ कि पहले मैं हेडफोन लगा के हर आपका प्रोग्राम करती थी. देन मुझे पता नहीं कैसे कि ओशो की बात याद आई कि आपके घर में जरूरी नहीं है एक प्रवचन भी चल रहा है या भजन भी चल रहा है तो वहां का एनर्जी ही चेंज हो जाएगी. तो मैं जिस रूम में बैठी हूँ दिस इज माय मेडिटेशन रूम एंड जस्ट एडजेसेंट रूम जो है वो हमारा उनका ऑफिस रूम और बेडरूम. देन जो भी चलता था वो भी सुनते थे कि मनीषा कर क्या रही है. शेयरिंग होती थी सब कुछ होता था. सुनते रहे सुनते रहे सुनते रहे सुनते रहे. नाउ आई कैन से दैट ही इज द मोस्ट लवेबल हस्बैंड. इतने लवेबल है कि मतलब मैंने उनमें जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन देखा मेरे में तो क्वाइट ऑब्वियस था कि बिकॉज आई एम हियर बट एज अ ऑब्जर्वर ही वाज द ऑब्जर्वर एंड ही वाज लिसनिंग एवरीथिंग. अभी कर्मा क्लीनिंग का प्रोग्राम भी चल रहा था. वो अपने रूम से सुन रहे थे और मैं यहाँ बैठ के पूरा प्रोग्राम अटेंड कर रही थी. तो वो सुन रहे थे कि क्या पैटर्न्स होते हैं क्या है. और अब ये होता है कि कहीं कुछ होता है तो अपने फ्रेंड्स को भी बोलते हैं ओके मैं मनीषा का नंबर देता हूँ शी विल टॉक टू यू करके. तो दिस इज द ग्रेट चेंज आई सी हिम ऑल्सो.
Manish,
And now
if I can spot it correctly,
Yeah.
whenever there is a pattern working between two people,
Hmm.
if any one person begin to dissolve, it dissolves for the person. I feel this is where the point has arrived for you in this story.
Yeah.
So what is the learning from this story? I think there is a very, very important learning from this. Can everyone share what do we learn from this? ऐसे बहुत से प्रैक्टिकल केसेस आपके पास आएंगे. कोई आएगा कोई कंप्लेन करेगा.
Also, I also want to share the similar thing. कि जब हम ओपनली सुनते हैं ना या तो हम अपने कान में सुन रहे हैं कि ब्लूटूथ लगा लिया या कुछ लगा लिया. जब हम ओपन सुनते हैं तो वो वाइब्रेशंस पूरे घर में जाती हैं एंड ऑल पीपल रिसीव दोज वाइब्रेशंस. तो उनमें जो रेजिस्टेंस जब हम ऑब्जर्व करते हैं उन लोगों में, जैसे मेरे हस्बैंड में है बहुत रेजिस्टेंसेस है, बहुत सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स है उनके माइंड में हर एक चीज को लेकर के. तो वो धीरे धीरे मैं देख रही हूँ कि वो धीरे धीरे टुवर्ड्स रिसेप्टिविटी उनकी थोड़ा थोड़ा इंक्रीज हो रही है. दो इट इज अ वेरी स्लो पेस बट इट इज इंक्रीजिंग and more acceptance level he is reaching out.
This is a different point actually, है ना. तो जो कोचिंग से रिलेटेड पॉइंट है हमारा.
Okay.
Manisha said there was a pattern existing between her and her husband, and it began to dissolve. When dissolved from her side, it also began to dissolve from his side. Correct?
Yes.
Now, what is the implication of this for the coaches? You as coaches, how will you? What is the lesson for you in this? How will you apply it in real case studies?
Sir, I feel that when we start transforming, the other person automatically transforming, because our action and their reaction, and sometimes their action or
No. Ranjana, my question is, as coaches, what do you learn from this? Suppose you have a coach. Suppose you have a coach and suppose you are a coach, you are coaching someone and that person is complaining about something, right? So just एक minute. So this is one thing which has come again and again in front of me. People come and say that I have this issue with this person, with that person. People complain about that. So I start to find out that, okay, what is your role in this? What is missing in you? Sometimes people are saying कि यार आप तो मेरे अंदर ही फॉल्ट निकालने लगे, तो मैं उनको हमेशा बोलता हूँ आपने मुझे पे किया है ना, तो मैं काम आप पर करूँगा. If you send your husband to me, I'll work on him. But right now you have come, so I have to find out what is the pattern in you. I'm not here to listen what is the pattern in your husband. We can dissolve other patterns too, but only when we have dissolved our side of pattern. Before that, we cannot work on dissolving. We cannot work on dissolving the vibrational patterns of others. Can you see how applicable it is?
Yes, Shivu sir. So I have taken the initiative because मेरा भी ego कम नहीं था, because दोनों ही वर्किंग में थे, तो मेरा भी ईगो कम नहीं था, बट मुझे मेरा ईगो पता चला कि मेरा क्या पैटर्न है, एंड देन आई स्टार्टेड डिसॉल्विंग इट. इनफैक्ट 1994 से जो भी हमारे बीच में, मतलब आई न्यू माय हस्बैंड फ्रॉम 1994, वहां से मैंने एक एक इंसिडेंट्स उठाया और देन वहां से डिसॉल्व करना मैंने स्टार्ट किया. एंड देन सडनली मेरे बिहेवियर में इतना चेंज आया कि मुझे उनकी कोई बात फिर बुरी नहीं लगने लगी. मुझे लगा कि जब मेरा पैटर्न डिसॉल्व हुआ, और जब मेरा पैटर्न डिसॉल्व हुआ तो मुझे लगा कि शायद प्रॉब्लम यहीं से थी, मेरे तरफ से थी प्रॉब्लम. तो वहां पे भी थी डेफिनेटली, बट जहां से मुझे लगता है कि जब एक गुड एनर्जी जब पास हुई मेरे तरफ से उनके तरफ, देन एवरीथिंग matched, फिर everything will be was matchable that time, जो मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बोल रही है.
Mansi, your comments please. Nitika, and Nitika, you can invite everyone to speak on this insight. This is a very very important coaching insight, and you please note it down, है ना. सारी Nitika सारी coaching insights जो आ रही है ना, सबको please note करते रहना.
हाँ जी शिव.
उसको पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट बनाएंगे इसके बाद में.
मानसी आप म्यूटेड हो. So Manisha, what I saw was the responsibility. You took responsibility for your actions, and I think that is the first thing that we have to tell the other. I don't know where is this coming from. Choo choo choo. Is it coming from somewhere? Yeah. So I think. Is it from my side? Are you all hearing some sound? No, now it's fine. Okay. So I see it as responsibility. You took the responsibility, and when you took so first is taking responsibility, and we always have to let the other person know that they have to take 100% responsibility for their action. Once you take 100% responsibility for that is one of the most empowering things. And then when you look at those incidences in your synthesis, when you are taking incidences, तो तुम्हारे husband के जब तुम incidences ले रही हो, तो वो भी तो आ ही गए ना vibrational field में, because you are taking the incidence, so he is also connected to that. तो जो भी तुम्हारा हो रहा है वो पूरे सिचुएशन का हो रहा है, सिर्फ तुम्हारा नहीं हो रहा है. वो तुम्हारे फिर अगर उसमें ऑफिस के लोग हैं, अगर उसमें तुम्हारे दूसरे फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, जो भी जितना उनका रोल है ना, उतना उनके तरफ भी जाता है. That is what I feel. And one more point I wanted to add about observation is that even in Ruchita's case, see, when you are a coach and you are just listening, okay, in that only you're increasing the field of observation. Because earlier one person was living it. Now when he's telling you, he is observing, you are observing, the coach is observing with his own awareness. Again, that a circle is increased. As Shiva was saying, when you bring in the paradox, when that person was seeing only one side of it, you bring in the other side, that is also widening the circle of observation. Then Ruchita,
यहाँ पर एक अर्धनारीश्वर का भी इंसाइट है जो just struck me. So yes, what is happening is that there is a lot of Shakti in what is his emotion. Now you begin to listen in non-judgmental manner. That is what? That is Shiva. You are tapping your Shiva. So Shiva is awakened from your side because it's a non-judgmental listening. And there is a Shakti which is constantly coming. and that Shakti is merging with you. So now here it is not the Shiva and Shakti.
शिवू, मैं
the same
मेरी
person.
बात कंप्लीट कर लूं क्या?
हाँ, yeah. तो मेरा भी हो गया
Yeah,
complete.
so yeah,
It was the
so
Shakti of
another thing.
Inder and Shiva of Ruchita that merged.
Yeah.
Shiva Shakti union in two different people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
please.
another thing I wanted to point about with Ruchita was that, you know how that person was saying my wife, my daughter. And again, that is a very limited observation of the person. By not taking the name, you're like the only way that person exists in my mind is
My possession. Yeah.
yeah. And again, you have opened that possession by asking that person to say the name. So again, you have widened the field of observation. You've broken that. Even in that saying, you've
So
started
that
the breaking.
person start to acknowledge the whole person. When the person takes the name,
Yes.
he starts to acknowledge the whole person.
Yes.
So Nitika, you can write this down. Increasing the field of observation, taking people away from possession. And second thing, Shakti of the Kochi merges with the Shiva of the coach. This is always the concept, always. In that observation, when that Shakti, you are really ready to receive the Shakti of the Kochi, then the transformation of that Shakti happens. So here the crux is full body listening.
Yeah.
Yes, Mansi, please continue. Sorry for
Shivu, that was excellent. Shivu, what you said was really excellent. And Shivu, what happens now that it might start with the Shakti of the Kochi, and of course that person is talking about his incident. So the Shakti is far greater. The observation of the coach is far greater because that coach is not personally involved. But what I'm seeing is when that starts to happen, at some point the Shiva of the coach starts increasing the Shiva content of the Kochi, and that energy, that harmonized energy comes back to the coach as Shakti, because the coach will also get empowered. When this transformation happens, right, of the Kochi, that Shakti comes to the coach also, that empowered Shakti, and it's no longer chaotic Shakti.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it has come in a very harmonious form, so it will transform you also.
Yeah. So, this is an amazing thing to share for our Ardhanarishwa program also, how the transformation happens. Maybe as a case study.
Yeah, yes.
If you want to. Yeah, I'm good. That is
Thanks.
So Mansi, here is a clarification or simplifying like that. Ki as a coach, we are the Shiva content. Like we are the observer without within a non-judgmental manner, and the problem or the conflict towards the Kochi is the Shakti within the Shakti.
Yeah, so I will say that we are both, we are Shiv and Shakti, because the compassion that flows, it is not inert. We are not inert there. We are not a Shava observing. We are not a dead person. We also have that compassion. I would say that non-judgment is one part, but compassion is even higher. If you can even bring in your Shakti of receptivity, of love, like you may feel that, and then that is a beautiful Shakti. So Shivu, do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. So there are three dimensions of consciousness. So when you are in the space of non-judgmental listening, you are tapping the awareness. Then you can also tap the love or creation. You can also tap the creation there.
Yeah.
Creation part is when there's something negative, but you trust that the same negativity is actually the raw material for something positive, some new possibility. That is the creation part. When you are listening in that deep trust that whatever negative may be there right now present, that will turn into something new. That will open some new possibility.
And I've seen many creation points with Shivo. Like, since we're talking about the karma, I think about all the times, for several years before this karma workshop happened, Preeti would share her own past lives. And they were very, very, they were things that people would not really share about themselves. And she would share. And there, I feel that there was, of course, the observation of Shivo. There was a love of everyone involved who would watch her like, okay, you have done, these are the deeds that have happened, or you have done that, but there was a love, and in that creation happens. I've seen that with Atin also. I've seen, probably even with Nitika when she was going through a cancer journey. Maybe, I don't know, Nitika, if you have to say, if you felt the love that time.
There was
And so I feel that compassion, for Atin right now, everyone has seen his journey when he occupies such a hard space. I feel that Atin occupies the softest corner there is in Quantum Life. And that has come from so much sharing and sharing of that Shakti, which was probably low self-esteem. But when he has shared that, and people have seen his talent, Shivu and everyone else made him aware of his talent. And then that compassion is also empowering. That compassion, it's not like just bring him up, but that compassion, that love that he has felt. So I feel both these things, the compassion as well as the, and new creation happened.
Yeah, it was not the
uniqueness in each and every one
Yes,
of us.
Yes,
I know it was not just the love, but there was also a deep trust in the cosmic scheme. So even when I am listening to Preeti or all her horror stories, and she may go into a lot of resentment and guilt, but for me it's clear that through this journey she is being prepared for something which is very vast. So I'm listening from this space. That even, so, and if you remember, I kept telling this to Preeti, the day you will accept this, and the day you will have the courage to go out and share to the world that, okay, I have done all this in these lives, and this is what the consequences I have suffered. That day you become the karma teacher of the world. But if you can't do that, you will not. You have to first accept your whole life. And acceptance of the life, if you do not have this understanding that even whatever negative happened, there is a cosmic plan behind it. Unless you understand that, you will remain in that resentment and guilt. So this is the complete trust in cosmic scheme, in the cosmic creativity.
So
that means never to condemn, never. The coaching lesson here is never to condemn any coachee, even if he has done tremendous, horrendous stuff. Never to condemn. Observe your judgment if it is coming up. The moment your judgment will come up, things will get ruined. It doesn't matter what kind of horrendous things he has done. You have to understand there is a certain cosmic scheme and everything is going towards good. Yes, please.
या शिवो, कई बार हम इस तरह से जजमेंटल हो जाते हैं शिवो की, जैसे कि दूसरे की करंट लाइफ की सिनेरियो से कई बार हम बहुत जज करते हैं. तो that also we need to observe right now कि
especially अगर हमारी भी सेम सिचुएशन होती है ना लाइफ में, तो बोलेगी हाँ वो करती है बीवी इतना परेशान, क्योंकि आप भी परेशान हो उधर. आप समझ रहे हो? आप उसका जो प्रॉब्लम है उससे आइडेंटिफाई करके आपका ईगो उसका ईगो जुड़ गया, दोनों का जजमेंट जुड़ गया. सी द थिंग्स द मोमेंट यू स्टार्ट टू से यस इट्स लाइक दिस, आई अंडरस्टैंड, बस वहीं पर काम खत्म. उसके बाद कोई कोचिंग नहीं हो सकती, क्योंकि योर जजमेंट हैज ओवरशैडोड द ऑब्जर्वेशन.
शिवो, और जब इतनी जजमेंट आती है ना, तब हमारे अंदर ही कुछ रहता है. So we need to really observe. If you are really judging someone, that means your own pattern is getting triggered.
Absolutely.
That is when you have to shine that same thing on yourself. That why am I feeling so judgmental? In fact, I feel most judgmental when it is my own pattern that is getting triggered. So what am I getting triggered? What is getting triggered in me?
Yeah, so Mansi, I wanted to ask a question. Actually, when I was coaching Prachiti, she shared about her burnt episode. And the burning ka to theek tha, but then she started sharing about her being away from her daughter for a long time because she needed time to heal. And when she was talking, I was crying more than her while the whole thing was happening, because the same thing had happened with me also. I had a retinal detachment and I had to leave my daughter in Delhi and I was getting operated in Bombay. So जैसे कुछ चीजों में जैसे हम जजमेंटल कर सकते हैं, लेकिन कुछ चीजों में हम ओवर एम्फसाइज कर जाते हैं, या you start.
So Ranju, what happens, and this is for an empath, this is very important. See, we are listening to their story, we are listening to us, we forget to observe the space between. Because if you observe the space between, just like there is whole body listening, sometimes even when I'm looking at y'all, I do a whole body gazing. I gaze at y'all through my whole body, and I feel the space between you. So right now I can see on my screen, I can see Meena ji, Manisha, Nitika. In fact, when you were sharing this, I went to you to see you also, if you are on camera. And if you were there, Ranju, then I would have felt the space between this. And और ऐसे point में ना उसका transformation होगा, तुम्हारा भी हो जाएगा. It is a great moment. It is a symbiosis. It is synergistic in that moment when that thing happens. But you have to observe the space. वरना तुम पूरे empathy के चक्कर में पड़ जाओगी. तुम भी down, वो भी down. और great bonding हो जाएगा. तुम लोग friends for life हो जाओगे, पर कुछ भी resolution नहीं होगा.
Yeah, right. उसमें मुझे एक चीज ध्यान आई कि जैसे we take our instances during synthesis, लेकिन मैंने कभी इस instance के बारे में सोचा ही नहीं था. Ever. When she brought it up, मुझे मेरा भी instance याद आया. Yeah. So that is something that even I took up later in synthesis. But you know that when you say, I understand how you feel when you left your kid, you know that somewhere, you're not totally, I mean, I'm not, I know how that must have felt. So that is when you say that, okay, I understand how you felt. So yeah, somewhere वो अपने साथ होता है, तभी हमें लगता है कि हाँ ठीक है, तुम्हारे साथ भी हुआ होगा, you know how it felt. But वो जो suck in हो जाते हैं ना उसमें,
तभी वो space observe करना रहता है, तभी वो space.
Right.
मानसी,
और ये रंजना मुझे बहुत डंडे से पड़े हैं. हाँ, yes, Nitika, we can go to the next story.
So basically, coach and coachee, don't try to befriend your coachee. दोस्त मत बनाओ उसको. मतलब ठीक है, show compassion, but वो I understand वैसे उसमें मत जाओ. Not like a friend kind of a thing. Yeah.
How do you win their trust? How do you know?
Justification में नहीं जाना, उनको justify मत करना.
How you switch?
How can I make them? Sometimes people are not ready to share at all. How do you make them comfortable to? How do you break the ice?
No, so I have to you try to I mean, I don't know how to put it कि हाँ थोड़ा उनको break the ice करने के लिए you build level, but don't be like a friend where they are, while they are sharing it's okay, but you have to realize कि sharing का बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है. And then
इसमें क्या है do not support their patterns, whatever their patterns, do not support that. You can have a genuine appreciation for them, but do not support their patterns.
Right.
They will look many times for you to justify. They would want you to justify their actions many times. क्यों मैंने सही किया ना? आपको कभी भी justify नहीं करना है. आपको बोलना है कि ठीक है, explore करते हैं.
शिवा, पर यहाँ वो कहाँ जस्टिफाई करी? यहाँ तो वो रचिति का सुन रही है और वो इमोशनल हो रही है.
हाँ,
No.
यहाँ पर क्या हुआ है मानसी, यहाँ पर जो पिटी आ गई ना, सेल्फ पिटी, दैट इज अ पैटर्न दैट इज इरप्टेड. सेल्फ पिटी, पिटी फॉर अदर्स. और उसमें पिटी में क्या होता है, पिटी में वी हैव लॉस्ट टच विद द क्रिएटिव पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ समथिंग दैट हैज हैपेंड.
And
अगर
also,
आप किसी इवेंट के लिए अगर आपके अंदर पिटी है, तो आप कभी भी उस इवेंट को एज अ ब्लेसिंग नहीं देख सकते.
और वो टोटली डिसएम्पावरिंग है. वो टोटली वो शक्ति वो लीव हो जाती है. वो आई मीन इट बिकम्स सो.
उनके पैटर्न को कोच करते करते आप खुद के पैटर्न्स पे आ जाते हो. You know, you're
नहीं रंजू, दैट इज आल्सो ओके, बट दैट अवेयरनेस शुड बी देयर कि मैं अपने पैटर्न पे आ गई.
yeah.
It will come up. Absolutely. Yes,
And
Meena ji.
Can I bring in a point here? Something which I came across in one of my mentees. She was a lady who was a grandmother living in the same house 4 generations. Her in-laws, her children, her in-laws, her children, and her grandchildren. And she was a widow since a very young age. And she had come to me. She once confided, she says, Meena ji, aapse help chahiye. Maine kaha, kya hua? Can I say anything? Okay, say. She said, see, now, ever since my husband passed away, my children were very young when he passed away. And after that, I have lived with my in-laws, and I have devoted my life to my in-laws and my children. And now my grandchildren are also grown up, you know. लेकिन अब ना मुझे बहुत अकेलापन लगता है, because all of them, both my in-laws are alive, so they have company within themselves. My children, my sons, 2 sons were staying there. They are busy with their families. मैं बहुत अकेली पड़ जाती हूँ. And I feel very lonely. And then she confessed that at times I have physical urges also. So, you know, obviously, जैसे आपने बताया कि at once, because even I lost my husband very early. He died when he was only 28 years old. I was 27. So within myself, I almost identified with her and understood. I said, हाँ, I can understand. So, of course, मैंने बात की उसको. मैंने कहा, you will have to speak to your children about it. Because मैंने पहले तो थोड़ा सा ऐसे मजाक किया. मैंने कहा, अरे friends बना लो ना, friend circle बना लो. अरे कैसे बनाए, हमारे बच्चे क्या बोलेंगे, you know. So I said, then I went on to a serious note and I told her, I said, see, you will have to talk to your children. You don't tell them what you want. You speak to them, tell them how you feel, and let them tell you what to do. You know. Lekin, like you said over here, like Shivoji also pointed out, ki the risk of identifying is always there over here. So over there, now my question here is that at that stage, of course, I met her for a couple of times. I guided her. I said, please, baat karo. She called me home. I went to her place. I spoke to the parents, but not about her. Just generally, I was there. It was Ganesh Chaturthi when she called me. So I went there. लेकिन मुझे नजर आ रहा था कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है. सारे 1, 2 या 3 बेडरूम में सबके सब रह रहे थे. So there was no space also for them, you know, and जाए तो कहाँ जाए, क्या करे. So the risk of identifying was there, right? The only difference was that I don't have my in-laws staying with me and I don't have the family and I have all freedom to do whatever I want. It's up to me what I choose to do. But she didn't have that freedom. So ऐसे में I mean, what kind of guidance does one give to that person without getting into self-identification with them? How does one handle this
How
case?
much time we have? So that's a great question. How much time do we have, Nitika?
बाय द वे
Answers.
एक पॉइंट और ध्यान रखना, बाद में डिस्कस कर सकते हैं इसको, कि जो काउंसलिंग और ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन में क्या डिफरेंस है. And if you are a counselor, then it shouldn't interfere the transformation process. कई बार क्या होगा, अगर आप काउंसलर बनोगे तो वो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आंसर फ्रॉम विद इन विल नॉट कम. You already provided. So this is something you need to discuss. Nitika, please note my point and discussion.
Sure.
Yeah, because I did not want to tell her what to do exactly. ये और बात है, मैंने मजाक में बोल दिया था कि develop a friend circle. But of course, I did tell her that you should go out. I'm sure you have a friend circle. Women भी होंगे, males भी होंगे. Get into some activities and all. But उसके बाद में वो 2 बार ही मिली मुझे, लेकिन ज्यादा मिली नहीं. So I don't know what happened. You know, so, sometimes now, off and on, sometimes उसका message आ जाता है. But I really have not gone into it to see what has happened. That was a very particular case. There are many other cases which I was able to solve. But this was a particular case which I don't know what was the destiny of that case.
Yeah, I think from this only, this thing has come in, like difference between counseling and transformation, which we'll take up as a topic in the next session. So Mansi, we finished time. We'll close the session.
Yeah, can we hear a word from people who have not talked about? Can they just share one sentence about what was their takeaway today, or anything, like one sentence, and then we close. Yeah. So who is? I think Vaibhav, Dirika, Pankaj have not spoken.
I am learning. I'm just listening and learning. What is the thing? How to take, when I will go for the coaching, then how I should.
Pankaj, feel free to even look at how you have coached in your college and other things, because even though you may not have been a coach for DYC, there have been other incidences where you have coached, or you have counseled, or you have been a point. तो इसको भी आप connect करिए, वो भी आपने बहुत पूरी जिंदगी जी है. तो tap in. Let's, please spend a week and just think about whether whatever we said, did it relate to any of the other incidences where you have been a coach or something.
Yes.
Can we hear from Dirga and Vaibhav, please? Thank you.
So Mansi, lot of things. Go ahead, Vaibhav.
Yeah, दीदी आप बोलो ना please. मैं बोलता हूँ.
नहीं तू बोल, मैं यूँ भी रास्ते में हूँ, बोल.
अच्छा ठीक है. So hi everyone. So I'll start from like when Ruchita Didi was sharing about calling, not taking the names and wala your wife wala scene. Same thing happened with me when I was coaching Kshitij, and Kshitij, his father was always there while I was talking to Kshitij, but both of them were always talking like this. So I didn't. It occurred to me that time as well, but later on I eventually found out that there's a thing with the woman, not just the woman at home, but जैसे जैसे DYC आगे बढ़ा, then उन्होंने दूसरा session attend करा, दूसरी workshop, तो eventually Kshitij came to know about it कि he has some shadows related to women. So so I totally agree, कि these things really happen like while listening to the coachee, though I was not able to figure out in the starting, but and today's session was really very helpful for me. I was able to find out where I was being judgmental when I was coaching, because my shadows are also triggering. And I think that is the best part of being a coach. You also, when you're listening to your coachee, you are also analyzing, or you get to know about yourself as well, where you are doing the same thing, or what's your shadow. So it always happens whenever I'm talking to any of the coachee.
That's great.
That's all.
Dirga, very quickly, can we hear from you?
Yeah, so Mansi, a lot of things were very relatable to what everybody shared. There is a similar story that I would want to share what Manisha was sharing. Maybe next time I will do that because I'll need some time.
Sure.
I think bits and parts from everybody who was, whatever we spoke about is something that is very relatable. And I think it's a point of introspection what happens is when you're coaching, I think a lot of times you're not able to be, because you start relating it to your story, or you start getting into it too much, how Ranjana was talking. Sometimes you lose the track of what you should guide. That is what sometimes happens with me, because you just flow too much in what is happening. But I think all this is really, really helping us structure our thoughts and bring this in more observation of how to guide and coach. So I guess this was really, really helpful what we discussed today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Durga. We'll continue this next time. Yeah. Ritika, we can close. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Good night. Bye.
Thank you. And Meenaji, we'll take it up